It's academic and the place where they both meet. Examples of women sharing to share how you do that. There's no way you can ignore that
It starts out a little thing, you're right there, and back to being completely open.
Theater for everybody, yes, everybody.
That's just what should be done.
And indeed, my understanding of life, relationships, death, has already changed.
The survival of theater as an art form depends on that.
But there's room for it all. There's room for it all.
So welcome, everybody, here to the Martin E. Siegel Theater Center, the Graduate Center CUNY. My name is Frank Henschke, and I'm the director of the center. And thank you all for coming out on a beautiful May evening. And finally, we have some sun. This is a very, very significant evening for us. It is a theater after the hurricane theater in Puerto Rico. As you know, if you follow our work, you know, we really represent what New York City is made of, and all the people who do live here, artists who come and visit from around the world, but also everybody who is involved in creating theater. We have projects from Japan and Italy, Germany and France, and this time we felt we really should also focus what is happening in Puerto Rico. We, as you all know, the situation is complicated, and often it's talked of just in terms of, you know, what could be done or not, but we overlook that this is a country with a very rich and great theater tradition, also with very, very great theater artists. And so we connected with one of our former PhD students, now a professor of theater at BMCC, Bertie Furtman. And so we're very lucky to have you with us. Come over here, and we collaborated. She helped us, she connected us to the artists, to the festival here in New York. She will tell us a little bit more soon. The Siegel Center bridges academia and professional theater, international and American theater. So this, of course, is right at the center of what we do. We also had programs related, you know, to natural disaster. Whether it was the Shinza, the earthquake, and Fukushima in Japan, whether it was the Haitian earthquake and others. So this is also part of a highlighting work of theater artists and how they react to it. And as Brecht said, you know, what you sing about in dark times, you sing about the dark times, and that is important to do. If you have a cell phone, please do take it out at the moment so it doesn't ring, and turn it off. I'll do the same. Thank you very much. And again, welcome here to the Graduate Center CUNY, which is a great place with over 30 PhD programs and centers like ours, really as an outreach and a connection to New York City, the audiences, artists, philosophers, writers, thinkers, scientists. So this is all part of the Siegel Center, Graduate Center outreach to connect to the world, to the outside world, the global world. And we also have live stream scheduled, or it will be online soon on our website. So follow us. I hope you can come next season. We are close to the end. We actually had a very, very brilliant one, but this is a really most important evening, and we would like to thank you to all the artists coming over, flying over. They just came for you to be here with us. I want to point that all out. And again, Bertie, thank you so much for helping us. It wouldn't also have happened without you and your insight and your the trust we have in you that we will create something meaningful. So thank you in the name of the Grad Center, but also the PhD program and the Siegel Center. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you, Frank, for hosting this evening. I do have to say that this was definitely Frank who called me and said, you know, what? We should really be doing something on theater in Puerto Rico. I said, yes, we should. So you're thanking a lot of people, but this is really a wonderful event that you initiated. So today we have a great number of artists who are, I think, part of the reason why I think this is highly significant is not just because we need to be talking about what's going on in Puerto Rico after the hurricane, but specifically also what's going on in the arts. The scene there is not just a separate ghetto of Latin American, Puerto Rican theater. It's actually, there's a lot of contemporary artists working with very relevant language in terms of multidisciplinary art forms. And so I'm really honored to have with us today, this is gonna be the order, Helen Ceballos, Isel Rodriguez, Cariana Núñez, and Miki Negron. Helen, Cariana, and Miki are actually part of a collective that's called Mezcolanza. This is a producing partnership that was created and initiated in Buenos Aires in 2013, and now they are based in Puerto Rico, and they have been collaborating with us, with the Loisaida Center. We're also gonna have Libertad Guerra, who's gonna be talking a little bit about that partnership, because they're gonna be featured, they feature artists, they partner with the Loisaida Center to bring artists. And so they've been working in that partnership since 2014. And Isel Rodriguez, who is part of Teatro Breve, who's actually, she was just telling me they're going to be 12 tomorrow. It's their birthday, 12 years. Yes, of Teatro Breve, who were just here, I think a little less than a month ago I saw you. Yes, sold out house. So the evening is going to be as follows. Each of the artists will present their work. It'll be about 10 minutes. Some are going to discuss. Some will actually perform excerpts. So it's going to be a fun evening. And then Libertad will talk a little bit about the programming at the Loisaida. And then we're going to come back and do a little Q&A. And then we'll open it up. Okay, thank you so much for being here. I forgot to mention one very important thing is that I will be doing translating.
Good luck.
Saludos. Hola. Mi nombre es Helen Ceballos.
My name is Helen Ceballos.
Soy productora, gestora cultural y artista del performance.
I am a producer, cultural producer and performance artist.
Cada uno de mis oficios informa y nutre al otro. Lo que gesto desde la producción abraza las pulsiones y creaciones de los colegas, artistas, creadores con los que trabajo, que respeto y circundan el circuito del arte independiente y autogestionado donde me formé y donde continúo formándome.
So each of my thank you, Marlene. Each of my endeavors nourishes and informs the other. What I do from a production perspective embraces the pulses and creations of my artist colleagues, authors that I respect and that move in the independent art world, and that are do-it-yourself self-producers, which is where I'm formed and I continue to form myself. On the other hand,
por otro lado, mi tarea desde la gestión cultural diseña y fomenta programas artísticos y ofertas culturales donde se integra la comunidad.
On the other hand, my job from a cultural producing perspective, designs and foments artistic programs and cultural offers where community is integrated.
Tengo un espíritu inquieto, un espíritu que no tiene mucha paciencia para esperar a que las agendas institucionales sean inclusivas con las comunidades que más lo necesitan. Luego de un largo periodo de ver y conocer la precaria situación del arte en la isla, decidimos modificar las reglas del juego. Ahora ya no esperamos, ahora gestionamos lo que queremos que suceda.
I have an uneasy spirit. I don't have a lot of patience to wait for institutional agendas to be inclusive with communities in need. After a long period of seeing and knowing the precarious situation of art in the island, we decided to modify the rules of the game, produce what we love, and that we want to succeed.
Ciertamente la falta de ofertas culturales antes y después de María, faltas que promuevan el arte como parte integral de la vida de los ciudadanos en la isla, es escandalosa. Pero hay mucho pasando. La autogestión es un movimiento poderoso e indetenible. Emergen proyectos en todos lados, proyectos como la siembra hidropónica, como los cines solares, casas de barro, apropiación de terrenos en desusos, marchas multitudinarias, reuniones a puerta cerrada, subterráneamente, fuera de la óptica de la prensa nacional e internacional, hay mucho pasando.
Certainly the lack of possibilities before and after Maria that promote art as a form integral to the life of its citizens is scandalous. But regardless, there is much that is happening. The self-producing and the do-it-yourself movement is very powerful. The immediacy and is in the hands of the people and the citizens. There are a number of projects that are going on, including everywhere, including hydroponics, solar-powered cinemas, clay houses, land rescues, very populated marches, strategic planning. Beyond the media and the shallow lens of the national and international press.
Los entes politizados que somos todos los presentes aquí, no tenemos más remedio que activar las herramientas que tenemos y poner a disposición de todos lo que hay, lo que nos queda y lo que nos quedó después de María, activando si es necesario esferas políticas que no saltan a la vista, que no están escritas en ningún papel, pero que existen.
The politicized beings that we are today and here present have no other option, remedy, than to activate with tools and to put to disposition on behalf of others what we have, what we don't have, activating thus what is necessary spheres and social politics that are not obvious, that are not necessarily written on paper, but that exist.
Y bueno, esos son dos de mis oficios. El tercero es mi trabajo performático. En este terreno, en este territorio conceptual, es donde todas esas contradicciones que pueblan el país de donde vengo se encuentran. Para crear un gesto escénico, parto de mi cuerpo y de sus tránsitos como generador de signos. El videoarte, la fotografía y la instalación han servido de plataforma para extender algunas piezas.
On the other hand, my work as a performance artist and in the conceptual art world are where all these contradictions coexist. In order to create a scenic world, I work off of my body in the spheres that generate meaning and signs. In the use of video art, photography, installation, these platforms have served to extend my pieces.
El discurso escénico se asienta en la imagen y en la poética del espacio donde decido accionar, más que en la palabra propiamente dicha. Los elementos sonoros y audiovisuales guardan un lugar determinante dentro de la composición. Veo las instancias performáticas que diseño como secuela de mis vivencias en el cotidiano. Hay mucho de verdad y mucho de una verdad ficcionada.
The scenic discourse that opens up, that exists in the images I use, and the poetic space where I decide to act more than just the word. I use sound elements and audiovisuals in my compositions, and I use performative instances in order to everyday life. Thank you. Oh yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Bertie. La imagen fija y los autorretratos comenzaron a tener un rol importante dentro de mi trabajo, dentro de mi práctica, cuando entendí que a través de ese registro yo podía componer situaciones escénicas. Y a un nivel personal comprendí que podía recordar mejor las imágenes y situaciones que veo, más que las palabras o los relatos que escucho y que leo. Supongo que tiene que ver con un modo particular de registrar, de archivar la información, o quizás con mi condición de millennial en negación.
The fixed image and the autoportraits begin to have an important role inside my work. When I began to have an important work inside my work, when I understood that through this register, I could start to create scenic situations. From a personal point of view, I understood that I could remember better images and situations that I see more than just words or dialogue that I read and hear. I guess it has to do with a way of registering, a particular way of registering, or maybe my condition of a millennial in negation.
De cualquier modo, el trabajo escénico y social realizado me ha acercado a las herramientas para desarrollar una voz y gestionarle a esa voz un lugar en el mundo. Como dijo el performero Gómez Peña, yo me veo a mí mismo y yo le agrego, después de verme, busco ver a los otros en mí. En mis trabajos imperan los temas sobre migraciones, sobre traslados, mudanzas, cuerpos que envejecen, redes, el tiempo y su paso, la transmutación, la transfiguración del cuerpo, de un cuerpo vivo. Por ejemplo, les quiero compartir un videoarte que se llama Coito Bucal. Este videoarte es el producto de una investigación que promovía la transfiguración y transformación de algunas partes del cuerpo.
Before we show it, from any way, my scenic work is socially realized. I have come close to working with tools that have enabled me to develop a voice and produce and create a space give them a place in the world. Like the performer Gómez Peña said, I see myself, and I add, and after seeing me, I see the others in me. So my works in general are about migration, trends, migration, mudanzas, moving, traveling, thank you, bodies that aging, nets, the past, time and its past, transmutations, the transfiguration of the living body. And so for now, we're going to see a video that she has titled Coito Bucal, which is a product of an investigation that has transfigured from different parts of the body.
Veo el cuerpo como un lienzo receptor de capas y capas de significancia. Cada rincón de él puede ser usado para componer y recrear nuevos significantes.
So I see the body as a link with different layers and layers of meanings. Each corner can be used to compose and recreate new meanings.
El cuerpo como portador de miedos, el pelo como un elemento de memoria, la mentira, los cuerpos de mi linaje, trabajo con los cuerpos de mi mamá y de mi hermana, la sociedad y sus juegos de poder, el yo real y el yo virtual, el origen, la raíz, lo virginal, lo erótico, el rastro, lo infraleve, el país a cuestas. Todos estos conceptos forman parte de mi búsqueda escénica. Yo parto de mi herida. No me puedo imaginar estar parada en un escenario haciendo algo que no me apele. Es necesario, para bien o para mal, que me conmueva.
So I am a voice of fear. The hair can have memory, a lie. Bodies that are my lineage, society and power plays, the real me, the virtual me, my origins, my race, the virginhood, the erotic, the traces, my country. All these concepts form part of my scenic search. I go from my herida, my scars, thank you, my scars, my pains. I cannot imagine being on stage doing something that does not move me. It is necessary, que para bien o para mal, that for good or for bad or for worse, moves me.
Okay. And now I'm going to show you the last video. Oh, I'm talking in English. I prefer talk about my work in Spanish, so I apologize to you because I just can't talk in English. But I'm trying now. I'm going to show you a video. Es un video que hice registrando los cuerpos de mi mamá y de mi hermana. Es parte de mi linaje, como dice el texto que escribí para ustedes. A mí me gusta o prefiero hablar sobre las cosas que me conmueven, que forman parte de mi tránsito, de la historia, y esos dos cuerpos que me preceden y me anteceden son parte intrínseca de quien yo soy. Así que este video es el cierre.
Serena como un cielo de verano, perdiéndome su mano, me dijo que hay caminos con espinas que dañan las vidas, que ya no necesitan mis palabras, que quiere andar su vida y así. Y descubro que mi orgullo era mentira, y de nuevo con mis lágrimas dije así: te quise, te quiero y te querré, de la forma que tú quieres que te quiera, y no hay nada ni nadie ni lo habrá que me pueda hacer pensar de otra manera. Me dices que me vaya y yo me voy, pero mi alma vivirá en tu habitación. Te dije, te digo y te diré que te quiero más que a nadie te quiere, de la forma que tú quieres que te quiera.
Thank you so much.
Gracias. Bellísimo. I'm Isel Rodriguez. I'm an actress and theater professor in Puerto Rico. And I have the fortune of working regularly as a professional actress in the theater with a theater group called Teatro Breve. Teatro Breve is a comedy group, and we've been working uninterruptedly for 12 years. We began making sketch comedy and improv at a local bar in Rio Piedras that was managed by a collective of artists. And ahí se fue, ahora. Yeah, I hadn't even, right now. Okay, thank you. It started in a small bar in Rio Piedras that was managed by a collective group of artists. 12 years ago, our audience were university students, and that audience has grown and stuck with us and expanded as well. For the past 7 years, we rent a theater space that allows us to perform whatever we want for as long as we want. That's a dream for any theater artist anywhere. And as long as we have to pay the rent, we have to make theater. So that is one incentive to consistently create. Another is an amazing production team that does everything in their power so that our seasons open in record time. We usually write our own material, rehearse it, and it's on stage in about a month. That same production team were the ones that ripped the carpets out and cleared out the flood when the hurricane ripped some of the ceiling on the second floor of the theater, and the landlords wouldn't want to do anything about it. When Maria came, Puerto Rico was thrusted into a permanent state of emergency. None of the structures that worked before, both physical, political, and social, were working. This extended and expanded our already existing liminality, a constant state of in-betweenness that stems from its colonial status. The common trauma that we experienced during and after the hurricane generated what Edith Turner calls comunitas of disaster. Victor Turner first proposed this concept of comunitas, which happens when a community moves from one bound by various structures to one that operates without structures, and in a condition of comradeship and equality. I quote Victor Turner here. Edith Turner adds that in disaster situations, comunitas, quote, develops in full strength in an environment sheltered by the hope and love between the members of a badly shaken community. Puerto Rico had suffered damage. The theater as well. Luckily, many of us were okay, considering the circumstances. We had a roof and our families were okay. So what were we gonna do? The lack of water, food, power, and communication in most of the island made us feel that a theater play was the last thing on anyone's mind. We do comedy, but most of what the island was going through didn't seem funny at all. It was a tragedy. But like many comedians know, and theorists have noted, humor is a form of power, a defense mechanism in the face of imminent danger. It distances us from the horrors of tragedy. It can unite, liberate, heal, and purify us. We needed to find something funny about what had happened to us, otherwise we would not survive it. So in this sketch that I'm going to show you, a couple argues about how to prepare and whether the storm will actually make landfall, something completely plausible in an island that gets at least 1 or 2 hurricane warnings a year. The neighbor imparts his veteran knowledge in hurricane preparedness. So I'll walk you through some of this. So are we seeing it or no? Yes. Okay, so it's in Spanish, so I'll try to translate a little bit so you can understand some of the jokes. And here, something curious that happens here. In any other circumstance, what they're saying wouldn't really be a joke, but the circumstance that we were living makes it completely funny for everyone in that audience that had all experienced that hurricane together. So. No está grande. Todavía. Aquí. Hey. So she's saying, this is the biggest hurricane in years. We're gonna have to prepare for we're gonna have to prepare for 2 weeks. Of course, it was much longer than that. So he just came back from the horrific 8-hour lines to try to get gas, and she asked him, so did you get any? He's like, no. And of course, his character at the beginning of the play doesn't really believe anything bad is going to happen.
Una vez en Teatro Breve, cuando estaba Fortunio, como que estaban todos los despidos, como que uno de momento me acuerdo pensar, yo soy medio pesimista, yo pienso, nosotros hacemos algo que no es primera necesidad, ¿verdad? No somos médicos ni nada, así que la gente puede prescindir de esto bien fácilmente y decirlo, chavos, que me gasté Teatro Breve, pues ya no, porque no necesito eso. Pero de verdad que ha sido, es el cliché, ¿verdad? O sea, es que las cosas están bien malas, ahí es que la gente más quiere. Esto mismo que estamos haciendo ahora, yo siento el público distinto después del huracán, como que la gente de verdad quiere, me encuentro a la gente como que todo el mundo, ay, me encantó, la gente está como que lo necesita, es brutal.
She's talking about when a previous governor, Luis Fortuño, was in office. He laid off thousands, tens of thousands of workers. So she immediately assumed that nobody was going to really want to go see theater because, I mean, you're in a precarious situation, so you consider going to and paying for a play like a luxury, but that it was the total opposite. Everyone wanted to come, and that's where more people came. So there's a power outage. They're watching like the Grammys. There's a big Puerto Rican artist at the Grammys, and everybody's watching, and the power goes out.
Se divirtió, se rió de lo que estaban hace un tiempo llorando. De alguna manera se identificó porque el sketch y todo lo que hicimos fue relacionado con el suceso y era una mirada jocosa a una situación en común con el país. Así que pues la gente que se me acercó pues me hablaban de lo bien que se sintieron, de que se rieron, se identificaron.
That's the neighbor. This is after the storm. He has a phone.
Había una sed mutua, tanto del público de vernos como de nosotros representar, y entre esos dos factores que se diera un grado de normalidad.
Me encontré en el gimnasio y me dijo, wow, había una parte donde se escuchaba como el sonido del viento. Y entonces, esa parte me dio como, y varias personas me hablaron de ese momento de, como que el PTSD, tú sabes, de que lo escuché y estaba mucho de comedia, pero se me salían lágrimas sin yo quererlo.
So people were talking about the sound of the wind. We were sort of recreating the moment the hurricane hit. And people were talking about the sound of the wind and how they sort of, they were laughing about the scene, but also crying at the same time because that sound sort of reminded them of what they went through. Window.
Como somos en los caribeños, reírnos de nuestras tragedias, un poco como el clown, ¿no? Que siempre está, no se ríe de su propia tragedia.
The clown laughs of his own tragedy. He says, "Is that your Mini Cooper there on the side of the road? It's cute. You should move it." That's fine. You see that huge tree? It's going to fall right on top of that parking. Nothing's going to happen. Ada Monzón is like a weather person, and everybody was watching her the days before the storm. Everybody was talking about Ada Monzón and what she said. And this is the scene where they see the tree. The neighbor gives him a walkie-talkie, and then he's reminding them, hey, it fell. I told you. Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay, so that's about it. Thank you.
Hi.
So this is Kairiana Núñez.
through danger. Yeah. Back home, I watched the news. Bad news. I knew what was coming. Oh yeah. Shit, wind, fire, we're gonna hit the fan. I remember Katrina. I remember Florida. I remember Texas. Run, it's hurricane season, Miss Darling. Mr. Caballero. Maria. That was a tough cookie. Oh yes. Ugly fucking category 5 rolling bitch. I saw the devastation on the screen. Here we go again. And then I need to call. I received a phone call. They activate me. I said, yes sir, thank you sir. I will not dare sir. I will set my spreadsheet on the table and put the volunteers to good use. Stop vagrancy. I'll organize the poor and the wretched. I will not accept a defeat. I am disciplined, physically, mentally tough. I'm an American soldier. So, how are you doing, Puerto Rico? Do you remember what you have to do? ¿Recordaste lo que tenía que hacer? Hurricane season is from June 1st to November 30. So, June, July, August, September, October, November, 6 fucking months of disturbing this shit. And the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, recommends gathering the following supplies. Stock up on non-perishable food. And don't forget a can opener. Diapers, pañales para su bebo. Don't forget about your pets during a storm. Officials say to stock up on food and water for your pets. Local maps, find yourself. Water! 1 gallon per person per day for at least 3 days. For drinking and sanitation. Correction, Puerto Rico. For at least 3 months. Oh yeah, things don't move fast here. Buckets of water everywhere. Those toilets are not going to flush themselves. A first aid kit, a flashlight and extra batteries, a hand crank radio and an NOAA radio whether with another and extra battery for both. Tienen que escuchar la radio en todo momento. Repito, en todo momento. Alright? Do you pay attention, Puerto Rico? Well, doesn't seem like it. Now it's too late. Too late. People thought that this was a joke, but Hurricane is not a comedian. Hurricane is no comedian. Oh no. You're supposed to trim the trees and what happened? You're supposed to trim the trees and what happened? There are branches. There are branches all over town. What's the shit? You wanted the electrical company to have made underground electrical system, but no. No, you want an electrical webs in the sky. So now what? Now what? You. Now what? Cry, baby. Let's call the American caregivers. See, that was heavy. There were a lot of hours. And then the rain, and then the flood, and then the fear. And after the shock, I'm trying to speak in English there, and if I get a mistake, if I get confused, so you correct me. After the shock, my partner here and I, along with a group of friends, from the island. I'm from here, from the diaspora. We create this urgent brigade. I don't know how brigade.
Yeah, that's good.
An urgent brigade called Ráfaga Solidaria, Solidary Ráfaga, Solidary
Wind. Burst of
Solidary Wind. Yeah, and we create that brigade, and our home becomes like a center of acopio and centro de acopio.
Support?
Yeah, like supplies, yes. And then, well, we were managing boxes of foods and basic goods and goods. We went to retirement homes to supply and help the elderly because they really need us as everybody, no? But we decided to go to those retirement homes, and we start to receive a lot of donations. So we just start we have a lot of time. We spend a lot of time just setting things up, and we were overwhelmed. But humor helped. Humor always helped. He said, talk about that a little bit. And this woman you just saw, and it's a work in progress, I'm working on her. It's called Miss Miller Parachute Woman. Yeah, because the idea is that she entered with a parachute like this and then started to speak. Well, she started to appear in this scene of goods and managed supplies, and then I smoke, and always I have this cigarette in my mouth, and with my friends I just like, hey you, what is your girl? Let's go, let's go over here, people. And that's and she started to possess me in some way. And well, that's the story. And what else? Yeah, she's a character that moves between ridicule and reality. She repeats neoliberal spiels as if there were critical ideas that she owned. The fact is that many military were part of the so-called reconstruction. They took over the streets along with the local police. So los militares regresaron, como siempre regresan, as always they return to our island. So this is part of my recent project that I'm working, that I call it Chiquitita. Chiquitita, like the Amazon. And Chiquitita, the same another works, not response necessarily to conventional, traditional forms to abort the theater or the acting thing or the characters or to generate a scenic work. First of all, I know that I'm interested in text that I feel that I could manage with verisimilitude, is that a good word, or like with truth, that I can appropriate them. I'm interested in the humor more than the solemnity, although the themes are dense and solemn, but it's all about a tone or a form that I decide to go through the text. I'm not necessarily author of what I said. Many times I choose the voice of others that I like a lot, how they write. For example, my friend here, Coqui Rojo Robles, that I admire and respect a lot. He lives here, and he works here, I think in Kuning also. Well, with he and with another friends, I developed a very beautiful relationship of distance collaboration that it, como se ha potenciado after Maria, that
It's more Irish now.
It's first after Maria. In general, a lot of collaborations, artistic or not, they were more solidified after Maria, and that is very beautiful. Everybody has a common theme that makes possible the union. Well, going back to Rojo, well, I propose him an idea, and then he writes over that idea. All right, and I make observations, and then he writes something else, something over my observations, and then it goes the intercambio, no? The exchange. Yeah, it's like that. Hasta que, bueno, queda ese texto que siempre puede ser revisitado y transformado, ¿no? We can be revisit and transform the text in time. And that's the way this text of Chiquitita, nació, he created this for me, for him, for us, for the situation. It was very beautiful. So we don't have enough time, but yes, I have some pictures of my work that I used to. Rojo always is there, like creating for me, bringing me the words, so I can give it life. Also, I edit. I put some of my words in that, or I choose another words of any others or any other research. So it's like an ensemble. The text is always never takes its original form, and that is good. This is en construcción, under construction. That was my first piece, like as a solist. I was 23 years. Yeah, they offered me a theater to make an artistic residence. So I said, why not? And then it was a very autobiographical work. I talk about my complex, my complejo, como ver, como
James.
Yes. Of how about I have to choice between the volleyball that I love and the theater, because both are require the same needs of rigorosity, and I was like, why I have to choose? So later on I put the sport thing, I put it also on my words. Yeah, that is called Al Aire, on air. This was based on David Lynch's text. It's a radio interview about a cineasta, una mujer cineasta que habla de su trayectoria en medio de una industria, de cómo ella tiene que luchar en esa industria de varones.
Female filmmaker amidst the world of men filmmakers.
Yes. Then this is Elogio Estrella. Rojo also wrote it for me, and well, it was.
Parents.
Yeah, those are my parents. I put them always like to declamar a poem, to something, declaim poetry. It was about a dog that died, and this is a funeral for the dog. But then nobody knows it's a dog after the play is running, and that's it. And well, this is Elogio Estrella, and that I call some of singer friends of mine to sing a song that is a poem of Jorge Manrique, Coplas a la muerte de su padre, and I asked them. This is another word that is about letters. It's a litany, a big litany about all the letters that I receive, or I write, or they write from me. I wrote, and this is Monica, a character that Rojo wrote it for me too. And that's a character that I begin. This is Monica Rojo. You never saw her. Well, this is her. There's been 10 years, around 10 years that I made under construction, and Rojo never saw the piece. And at least, well,
Yeah,
I think
some pictures.
I'm gonna need some help with my makeup.
No.
Can you please deal with my body as I was your more oldest colony? Yes?
O sea, que te hago mi pintura.
¿Podría lamber mi cara?
¿Cómo te crees que trataste de pasar?
No, esta es mi Navidad, yo sí no necesito tu baba.
No lo pongo.
Do it slowly, but do it hard. Deal with my body as I am your oldest colony. Va por toda la cara, papi. Como si fueras mi presidente.
Oh my God.
Como si fuera tu territorio. Brown people from Puerto Rico. This is me, your president, the president of the world. You know what, little Puerto Ricans? ¿Sabes una cosa, puertorriqueñita? Su gobernador, ese mamado, me dijo que aquí only 15 muertes, 15 muertes. Eso no es nada. This is nothing, little Puerto Ricans. La verdadera tragedia, the real tragedy, is that you, puertorriqueñita, me estás descuadrando presupuesto. Me sale muy caro. Mas yo los perdono. I forgive you. Y aquí te tengo este papel toalla. Suavecito para tu culito. ¡Wow! Suavecito para tu culito. ¡Wow! Dale, papi. Ay. En una búsqueda insegura en Google, in an insecure search on Google, I tried to put a name to the words that I want to say today. Estrategia. Strategy. What is a estrategia? Hay un conjunto de acciones que se implantan en un contexto. Descolonizar. Revelar y revertir situaciones de poder. Body. Conjunto de partes que forman un ser vivo. Isla, island. Tierra rodeada por agua. Cuerpo. Isla, Puerto Rico. The place where I born, donde nací. The name of my hometown is Ay Bonito. In English is, oh, beautiful. Oh, so pretty, right? Una mierda así. Ay. Nacer entre tanto pequeñismo. Born surrounded around all the smallest things of the world. No es un asunto sencillo. It's a big deal, my people. It's huge. So huge. Tan grande, más grande aún, cuando esa pequeña isla nunca ha sido reconocida como una nación independiente. Translation, please. Esa pequeña isla nunca ha sido reconocida como una nación independiente.
That small island has never been recognized as a sovereign country.
Gracias. Puerto Rico nunca ha sido suyo. Puerto Rico nunca ha sido mío. Translation, please.
Puerto Rico has never been its own.
Thank you. We live in a limbo. The real hurricane come to Puerto Rico in 1890, en 1898. United States invade us. Shh, viento, cabrones. Shh, taking us. Shh, putting shit in our assholes without our permission. Esto no es una ponencia, esto tampoco es un poema. Siempre llego tarde. Always I'm late. Oh, shit. And I ask to myself, what the fuck, what I'm doing here? Siempre me hago esa pregunta cuando tiemblo de miedo. What I'm doing here? Se lo juro. I'm always scared. Tiemblo de miedo. Pero estoy aquí para ser sincero. I know that I'm not the only. Yo sé que no soy la única. Everybody have un miedo cabrón. Ay, Dios mío. Por eso recurro a la anécdota. Always think about how can I make a metáfora about my life. For that reason, I create my own project. The name of my platform is Asuntos Efímeros. We've been doing theater and performance artists in Puerto Rico 10 years ago. Yes, 10 years ago. I start my own lab. I want to be la rata de mi propio laboratorio and meet the amazing performance artists that used to do this raritos work cuando aún estaba en la barriga de mi madre. Now you are seeing Ritual of Feathers and Purification. That was a manifestation. It's an action that I do in February 17 of 2015 in front of the House of Laos in Puerto Rico, en el Capitolio. 70,000 persons protesting against the gender perspective education in the public schools of Puerto Rico. Los asuntos de desigualdad de género, translation please.
The issues of gender inequality.
Eso, thank you. The issues of gender. Oh, ya, la que vive. Dale, loca, dale, suéltalo. This is the here. Okay, baby. All with these issues, gender issues, the church influence on the government, always are being my dispositive. Mi dispositivo. Because I have a very violent past. Un violento pasado. Cristo te ama, qué linda. Soy entusiasta del verso. Digo, del verbo, que del verso. Bueno, me gusta la poesía también, a quien no le gusta eso. I actually like poetry. I like acciones concretas y transgresoras. And I take some risks. I must confess that it's from a very perverse place. Un lugar bien perverso. Me disfruto de exprimir esta experiencia confusa que viven los espectadores. I enjoy that. They doesn't know they are doing the piece. Without they, that's gonna be just nothing. Me divierte la idea de ser solo yo quien conoce que lo que se está haciendo es premeditado. With this, I just say that I live my everyday life as a performance show, but I'm never being a liar with that. Sí vivo situaciones de ficción, pero no miento. Elaboro planes, plan A, plan B. I improvise a lot. I love sex. I love drugs. Soy trans distinto a. My body is colonized. Escupo sobre el poder más fiera o el más tierno, como una rabieta. Vámonos. No me gusta definirme. No quiero ser parte de nada ni de nadie. I'm not an activist. Para nada. No ando buscando aliados. Mi formación es teatral. Encontré el teatro experimental gracias a mujeres artistas puertorriqueñas que rompieron formas desde los años 70 en Puerto Rico. When I was a teenager, I always think that with the theater I can, abandon my reality for some time. But the practice showed me that I was very wrong. El arte me hizo encontrar las heridas, indagar en ellas, poner el dedo en la llaga. En este proceso del performance, empecé a abandonar la representación. Empecé a hacer acciones en búsqueda de una libertad que no podía encontrar a través del teatro. La palabra performance salvó mi vida, porque no había problema con ser la idea de mí que tengo. There's no problem to be the idea of me that I have. Mickey, la vestida, la fiestera, la adicta, la explayada, la presencia incómoda. Perdí muchísimo, gané aún más. Palizas en medio de la calle. Y tomé venganza. ¿Cómo se dice venganza en inglés?
Vengeance.
Si aquí todo el mundo habla español, puñete, yo jodiéndome. Al final de este video regreso a la playa Barrote. Ahí escuchan a Wanda Rolón. Regreso a ese mar a tratar de lavarlo. O sea, lavarme a mí. Quitarme un poco todas esas oraciones que me impusieron sobre la cabeza. Termino ahora, te lo juro, loca. Esta es la última. El huracán continúa, no ha terminado. Seguimos sintiendo los vientos de 1898 millas por hora. Seguimos ahí, oprimidos, pero que quede claro en su récord. Son carpetas de amor, justicia y libertad. Nos persiguen, nos doblegan, nos asperjan, nos encierran, nos corren, nos burlan, nos golpean, nos citan, nos quitan, nos asfixian, nos embrutecen, nos empobrecen, nos secuestran, nos malgobiernan y nosotros seguimos bailando y amando furiosamente.
Thank you. Okay, so we have a few minutes left for Libertad. Yeah. For Libertad Guerra, who's artistic director of the Loisaida Center.
Hello, thanks for being here, and what a great company it is. Obviously, what Puerto Rico was undergoing was a human-made disaster before Maria, and that has been even further crystallized. And with that concept is where, from Loisaida Center, we've been engaging with providing a platform for artists, and specifically in the theater and performance field. Puerto Rico has never been in a silo. The New York-Puerto Rico relationship has always been, back and forth. But regretfully, the downtown Manhattan, which is supposed to be, a platform to the world, but that has such a big Puerto Rican contributions to it, specifically the Lower East Side, there's almost no institutions left. So that's why in the Loisaida Center, we open an artistic residency platform, and a lot of it has been given to theaters, Caborca Theater, most of them experimental, Casa Cruz de la Luna. And then in the other big platform that is very public, that is a historical event called the Loisaida Festival, which is going on its 31st year. I had the honor to reinvigorate it in 2014, which is when I started, and I decided to add a lot of layering to the programming and not just make it about food and music in a main stage. And we added this thing called the Theater Lab, which the whole point was to create that in a community garden with an agora, open air, many access points to everyone who wanted to be, and it's as public as you can get, talking about a public platform. It's at least now 30,000 people come to the Loisaida Festival. We've managed to double that. And this Theater Lab is about, yes, a lot of community initiatives, but also the creme of la creme of experimental avant-garde stuff, not only from Latinos and Puerto Ricans in New York, but this bridge that is being connected with this amazing deep pool of talent in Puerto Rico, which is the theater and performance world. By the way, these people were the true organizer front lines in Puerto Rico after Maria. Theater has always been like an organizing concept. You were the front lines in many of these events, like as Kairiana was talking about. It organizes people, it enlifts, and it politicizes people in many ways. And this goes historically to the origins of what Loisaida means as well. So it comes full circle, because Loisaida in the 70s, during the times of disinvestment, Fort to City dropped dead. The Lower East Side was this, it was the same as the South Bronx. It was this, platitude of like burnt out buildings and dilapidated stuff, not much different to what Puerto Rico is considered to be right now. And it was through street theater that the Loisaida concept was born by this performer poet called Bimbo Rivas. He Spanglishized the Lower East Side, Loisaida, and decided to do a traveling theater troupe to, promote this idea of do-it-yourself, self-generation, appropriation of what the Lower East Side is in our hands, because the government is not gonna come build our buildings. We're gonna have to do it on sweat equity. We're gonna have to do it on a lot of other stuff, on a lot of eco-urban, innovative ideas that they were experimenting with back in the day. And that's why I thought it was so important that the Loisaida Festival have this platform for theater and performance, and to keep bridging Puerto Rico and the Lower East Side, because if there's almost any institutions left that are Puerto Rican based or Latino based in the downtown Manhattan, at least we're trying to do what we can with our limited funding, and it's completely free, and and it's growing. So I invite you guys to see. That's part of the lineup of what we have put together this Sunday. It starts from 11 to 5. It's completely free, and it's been growing by the year. This is the third year that we're collaborating with Mezcolanza. And it's just a privilege to be able to just see in one single afternoon so much of the deep talent that the island has to offer, mixed with obviously a lot of New York-based performers as well. And these people aren't doing it even for the money. I wish we could get more funding to provide what this is, but it's like what they're saying. Sometimes you just need to get out and come back. And part of like the perspective of our residency was precisely that to give a platform to Puerto Rican artists, but for them not to have to leave the island, that you can come for 3 months, develop something in New York, you know, in the center of the world, even though, you know, we're still considered a periphery because alternative cultural spaces and ethnic spaces are still considered a big periphery, but still you're in the center, but you can always go back. You don't have to leave it because the island is emptying by the minute, but it's very important to create these bridges of artistry because that's where the organizing actually ends up coming from. So that's what I wanted to say.
Betty, es importante mencionar que la obra Ay María va a ser este domingo, pero no a las 3:30 como aparece ahí, sino a las 2.
Okay, important that Ay Maria, this is something that I didn't get to, but as part of the Theater Lab platform and Miki Negron's, maybe you should speak a little bit of how Ay Maria came to be, because that's amazing. It's also part of a traveling theater perspective, yeah.
But it's at 2 p.m., not at 3:30.
Exactly, it's at 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
it's 2 p.m.
Ay Maria is a play that we make it after a hurricane. Just we take 5 days after the hurricane as an initiative of Mariana Carbonell. She put all the money, rent a motor home, and pay to the actor for 1 month and 2 weeks traveling around the island. We present 78 in 78 municipalities of Puerto Rico. The experience was una pieza de creación colectiva.
A collective piece of creation.
Yeah, exacto. It was directed for one of my first teachers in my life of theater. I do theater for her, Marixa Perez Otero. She is an amazing educator and theater artist from Puerto Rico that have a group that Kairiana was a fundadora named Jóvenes del 98. So basically, we make a piece about the actor experience during the hurricane, and we travel around the island recogiendo, taking some memories of the other people. So we start with a play of 20 minutes, and now we have a 45 minutes piece. So we start making sketch. It's a comedy, but also it's a very political play that wants to move the audience to get away from the... Esto va a ser bien difícil decirlo en inglés. Para movernos del gesto y convertirlo en gesta. Que alguien pueda hacerme el favor.
To move on from gesturing to action.
Yeah, a beautiful thing that happened after a hurricane. That's that all the neighbors that you don't know each other, we don't know each other, and you don't have electricity, you don't have TV, you don't have air conditioning, so you have to get out, see the stars, and meet your neighbors. So basically, the play is about these 5 neighbors that meet each other after a hurricane, and this is a beautiful gesto, ¿verdad? It's something great. But now, 8 months or 9 months later after a hurricane, some people still doesn't have electricity, but most of the population yes. And this ese sentido de unidad se ha estado perdiendo, no se ha convertido en una
Unity is
gesta.
starting to be lost.
Exacto. But I invite you to go to Mezcolanza and Loisaida and see this place, because I think that I never do a play in Puerto Rico. The same play, 70, 80, 86 funciones hemos tenido. So
Wow.
it was huge, and we saw everything.
Is there a documentary about that?
Yeah, we're making a film documentary that maybe finish here in Nueva York. And we saw, vimos nuestra isla herida, vimos realmente funny things like, like this woman that take the army food and plug the microwave in la planta eléctrica and put the army food in there and make an explosion. And this lady that have to eat comida de gato.
Cat food.
Cat food, because she can get out of her house until the neighbors open space to be there. So ya se me pararon los pelos. It was a huge experience, and I'm very happy that we can, share that with the New York diaspora. That I'm sure that you have a very stressed moment just seeing what happened on the news and doesn't know about your families there. Así que we want to hear about that too.
So I don't know how much longer we have. Okay. Okay. Thank you to everybody. I want to make sure we have time for questions for the audience. My only question to you is I'm very curious in terms of sustainability, financial, emotional, human contact. How do you? Maybe Teatro Verde is a different story because you have your own audience in the island. How do you keep doing the work you do? Do you feel like you have to travel and tour? Do you have to find the funds outside, or can it be internal? How does that? Can you speak a little bit about that in your work?
Sí, realmente ha sido un tránsito que ha pasado por todas esas instancias que tú has mencionado, Bertie. Hemos tenido que salir del país, quienes hemos tenido la oportunidad.
Yes, we have had to go out of the country.
Hacer muchas propuestas escritas a mano porque no había luz y había que moverse con rapidez. Esas propuestas generaron fondos, esos fondos se tenían que poner al servicio de lo que el pueblo en ese momento necesitaba.
Written proposals, yes, because there wasn't any light to use computers.
Y encontramos un espacio dentro de el darnos y dentro de las ráfagas, esto que contaba Kairiana, nos organizamos y le dimos empleo a artistas que eran de alguna manera los primeros en la lista, los primeros y los últimos, no sé cómo explicar esto.
Sabían to give jobs to the first and the last of
Claro, es que cuando uno piensa que el trabajo que uno hace no es importante dentro de un marco de tragedia, se vive una tragedia personal más grande aún. Y uno dice, bueno, pero ¿y qué más yo puedo hacer? ¿Qué más? O sea, ¿de qué otra manera yo puedo servir?
Yeah, as artists, we are often asking ourselves, what can we do? And that's a greater tragedy if we don't function for anything. And so that is the conundrum, in a way, to find this.
Fue bien importante darnos cuenta de que nuestro trabajo no solamente era importante, sino que era esencial, porque nosotros somos el filtro.
Because we are the filter.
Because we are the filter of the tragedy. Y las personas pudieron digerir su experiencia. Muchos de los espectadores, estoy segura, y por eso que lo puedo decir con propiedad, que vieron a Ay María.
People were able to talk about what they felt, to speak through the artists about the tragedy. People who saw Ay María
pudieron ver de una manera lejana lo que les pasó, y eso es otra manera de procesar.
They could see what had happened to them, and that was a way of processing the tragedy.
So you become therapists of post-traumatic stress.
Yes. Eso, para resumir, eso es lo que quiero decir, que sí, viajar fue una opción, hacer propuestas, reinventarnos, soltar nuestros antiguos oficios y poner esos conocimientos al servicio de otra población.
Different kinds of communities and audiences and different populations were in need of seeing artists. I'm extrapolating for what you're saying.
Más que nunca empower our connection with the diaspora.
Solidifying more than ever the connection with the diaspora.
The most,
yeah, most of the helps that we receive are from the diaspora. FEMA doesn't approve 70% of the reclamaciones. They pay $500 only because you don't have electricity. They didn't give it to me, Yo recibí $500 de pregones aquí en Nueva York. It was my first help.
$500 from pregones.
Yeah. Also, there's that is very important to say. There's local art, Beta Local, que es como una entidad que promueve el arte contemporáneo y experimental en Puerto Rico.
An entity that promotes contemporary art production in Puerto Rico.
They receive grants from the Andy Warhol Foundation from all around the world, and they canalize that to many artists. I lost my house. I used to live in front of the ocean. The ocean came into my house. I lost my costume, my books, my bed, my everything, and I received $10,000 from Beta Local from these funds, and I can start my life again in Puerto Rico. Tú sabes, yo estaba a punto de take a plane. I love to live in Puerto Rico. It's the place that I want to live and work, and where I feel that my work has sense. But tuve a punto de tener que coger un vuelo pensando maybe que acá podía hacerlo distinto. So this help from Beta Local was also great. Also for Kairiana.
I also remember, if I can add, during those times, we started an initiative in Loisaida Center by artists, but from here, Aris, Eco Kid Puerto Rico was called, and we were the kind of the housing where it all happened, and it was artists organizing this, and we were basically smuggling relief through like contraband, through individual flights, and many of the recipients, obviously we identify a lot of frontline nonprofits that are proven to do a great job, but many times it was artist collectives because they were already so organized, because the art scene in Puerto Rico is so organized and so community driven, and so many times it was you guys that had the organizing powers to actually give this Eco Kit that was a lot of sustainable kind of technical equipment to activate nodules and spots and centers, during the 3 or 4 blackout months. So there's always that constant back and go, even to the extent of contraband. You would never think that you need to smuggle relief, but that's basically what happened.
Libertad, ahí están las fotos de todo lo que salía dentro de los Eco Kits.
Pictures from when they would receive the Eco Kits.
Nuestra casa se convirtió en un centro de acopio.
Yeah, this was their house. Their house became a center of supplies store. Yeah, maybe as this is showing, we can open it up for conversation or questions.
Yeah. We're going to take the mic so we hear you better. We're also recording
this. I'm going to say it in Spanish and English, I guess. Como artistas puertorriqueños que están acá, a lo mejor estudiando, haciendo lo que tengan que hacer, que ahora van a volver a la isla, ¿cómo empezamos a ayudar?
No entendí.
O sea, yo que soy un actor aquí, un artista que pues comenzó por acá, que voy a regresar ahora, ¿cómo puedo empezar a ayudar? ¿Y cómo me puedo involucrar?
Pues mira, lo primero que yo pienso...
He's an actor who's...
Yeah, as a Puerto Rican actor who's established here in New York, and is planning on coming back to Puerto Rico, how do I get involved? How do I get involved in the theater scene to help?
Well, yo te recomiendo que I hope you return to fight. At this moment, we have to fight. We have to take the streets. We have to fight against the violence of the government, la Junta de Gobierno Fiscal. The really tragedy about what happened right now in Puerto Rico is the big powers are taking our island. Nosotros somos un paraíso fiscal para los bitcoiners. Nuestras tierras se están vendiendo a precio de pescado bombao. Y I'm gonna say something. Las personas que se están yendo realmente, o los que están volviendo, yo espero que los que estemos ahí estemos dispuestos a tirar la piedra y esconder la mano, porque nosotros somos más importantes en la calle que en la cárcel, pero es hora de joder el puto sistema. No, I don't know how to.
He says we have fuck the system. We have to stay there and fuck the system, in a nutshell. And fight. That's the most important thing, to stay and fight.
Yo quisiera añadir un par de cosas más a esa línea que dijo Miki, que definitivamente esa es la actitud. Estamos en un terreno de lucha. Y también
in a battlefield.
Te recomiendo que si estás dispuesto a volver, que busques esos circuitos de la autogestión y que trates de poner tu energía con todos los que estamos tratando de generar una vía distinta. No todo el mundo tiene las herramientas de guerrilla ni está dispuesto a ir a que le echen pepper spray. Y no, eso no está mal. Hay espacios para todos. Si tú eres actor, bueno, pues hay espacio para que tu arte de alguna manera transforme y diga y tenga una llegada para cierta población. No hay profesión inútil. Seguramente hay algo que tú tengas que ofrecernos que nosotros no tenemos o no tenemos a la mano y tú lo traigas. Entonces, yo pienso que hay unos canales y que, pues, sí, necesitamos que se sigan sumando quienes estén dispuestos a hacer lo que no existe.
So in a nutshell, look for those systems of do-it-yourself, self-production, finding networks. You don't necessarily have to be out protesting and getting pepper spray. Protests can be in different forms, and this is a form of fighting and battleground.
I would add that there's a lot of DIY, but at the same time, the DIY can't keep on being completely secluded, that you need to find points of connection so that DIY becomes a larger, you can do something bigger without losing perspective of the local and the very particular initiative that each person is doing of survival, because if then you're not gonna have a counter power if like it keeps on being so fragmented. So, or marginalized, so that's something to think about, constantly.
How long have you been out of the island? About 3 years now. Nah, you can come back right away and you're fine. I mean, the good thing about being from Puerto Rico and going back to Puerto Rico is that you connect like that. Like you find your group again, immediately. I mean, it's not hard. Everybody knows each other, artists, most of us. Even if we don't necessarily work together all the time, we know each other's work and we know each other. So find them and introduce yourself.
Yes,
and say, what can I do? Do you need anything? And somebody will find something for you to do. Exactly.
Yes, I like to add that maybe, yes, let's keep in touch and maybe take our numbers, our mails, so we can start this dialogue from now. So we are here for you as you were there for us. So it's good. So take our phones.
So we have
mails.
one more question. Do we have time for how much more time? One more. Two more. Good.
Okay, it might be a big, broad question, but I wonder what your process of when developing a new performance, a new piece, what is the process like in light that the reality is so absurd? It's every day this man is, it's like incredible, the things like he keeps saying that one could not even imagine, fathom ever getting even more absurd. And I'm thinking two things, like, late night comedians say, the president's like writing the jokes for them. So it's like they have to work harder to develop jokes because the reality is just so absurd. And I'm also thinking there's a Cuban performance artist, Glexis Novoa, who had a performance now, it's been probably 10 years or so, where he's performing, it's not him, but an actor as Fidel Castro, and basically it's Fidel as the greatest performance artist. He's like walking through all the things that he did and blah, blah. But that's it. I was thinking of that example when I thought of this question of what is the process like of developing new material, when just, the reality is so crazy that, you have to kind of like be on your feet and like think in more clever ways to react without easy punches. Y me puedo traducir si necesito.
Well, I think there's more material than ever. Like it's easier than ever, I think. It's easier than it's ever been. I think about cultural jamming, political jamming, things like that. It's like the material is just there on a silver platter. Literally, I feel it's easier than ever. Like when the worst is on, that's when you get your biggest material to joke on, because it is so absurd that there's just no other way but to joke about it.
But she was hinting at something of desensitization, right? Like, do you become desensitized when everything is so grandiose, or reality is so huge and impactful?
Yeah, I can't sometimes think because I'm just reacting, and so.
And I think that's yeah.
It's funny at the same time.
Exactly, and I think that's what helps you sort of distance yourself from it. Making it into comedy helps to digest what is happening and to sort of survive what is happening, because it is, there's a whole, there's a thesis about the Holocaust, and humor during the Holocaust, and how just the reality was just so absolutely terrible that you had to make a joke in order to survive. I mean, there's just no way of existing in that level of horror without escaping from it somehow. So I think in terms of comedy, I think that's when you use it. That's when you should use it, I guess.
Over here.
Yes, hi. I was curious, the performance with the people in the background that looked like a demonstration. What was that demonstration about? How did you come to just perform? Like, was nobody stopping you? Was that allowed? Or I don't know. Mainly, what kind of demonstration was it?
Okay, that was a protest of 70,000 fundamentalism Christians, personas fundamentalistas, that our protesting against the gender perspective education on the public school in Puerto Rico.
So there was a law that was passed for gender, and what does gender perspective mean? That the law basically established, it was very basic. That
Established the women rights, trans people's rights, and the difference between gay LGBT rights. At this moment, we have a more liberal governor that allowed the law, but at this moment they la quitaron. Ya no existe esa ley. This law doesn't exist anymore.
Was reversed?
Yeah, they reversed the law. So I never asked for permissions for do my urban interventions. What I have a mi favor about performing on a protest is legally these people renuncia a su privacidad. So I can make the video and public without any legal, tú sabes, demanda.
Oh, I see. Because they're in public space, automatically they renounce their privacy. So you
public
can use
protest,
their images.
that's the whole point.
But yeah, it's a public
Cuando estás en una
protest.
protesta, tú pierdes tus derechos de privacidad porque estás ahí, a menos, bueno, you can cover your face. But you have more questions? I answer you?
Yes, except I didn't understand the part where you were talking about the demonstration was about, like, something was going in the schools.
Against gay rights.
Gay and gender perspective. So it was women's rights, LGBT rights, and it was a law that was 2 years ago. It was established by a different governor, and now it's been reversed with the new administration. And back in the day, it created a big backlash from the fundamentalist quarters of the island, and they went out to the street to basically protest that they wanted everything reversed in terms of the rights that they were in education that were being given to LGBTQ people and gender and females as well, women.
Gracias.
Okay,
Voy a
thank
lavar
you
la
so
casa.
much. Thank you.
Maybe you join us. We have a little reception here in the